All right, Seattle Seahawks fantasy preview. For a team that has an unbelievable defense, they actually got some nice offensive pieces as well, especially from a fantasy perspective. We're going to start with a dangerous one, Russell Wilson. Where do you project him going in fantasy drafts, and what's his ceiling?
I'd say 5th or 6th round. Things are going to be a little bit different this year. He rushed for over 800 yards, had 6 rushing touchdowns last year, which led the NFL amongst quarterbacks. But with Jimmy Graham in the mix now, I say maybe he gets back into the 700 rushing yard area.
Okay.
Could go for 4 or 5 touchdowns rushing, but he's going to go from 20 touchdown passes to maybe 25 or 26.
Pretty good.
I think he's going to be very good, and you can get him likely in the 5th or 6th round.
You know, and Marcus, the thing I love about Russell Wilson, he's so darn consistent every week from a fantasy perspective. He's never given you what Fabs calls a stinker.
No, he is very consistent because he makes a lot of smart decisions on the football field about where to throw the ball, when to run. He knows how to get down and get out of bounds. RG3, take note. It's just, and there's so many things he does well. That's why he's such a great fantasy quarterback and such a great real quarterback as well.
Top 5 pick, would that be, are you comfortable taking Marshawn Lynch there, Adam Rank?
Are you talking to me?
I am talking.
No, I don't. First of all, I don't like drafting running backs in the first round anymore. And last year, I famously said that Marshawn Lynch was going to have a pretty serious drop-off. Didn't happen.
No.
I'm going to double down now because at some point, I'm going to
eventually you'll be right.
Eventually, I'm going to nail it and be very proud of myself. But the one thing that scares me is that he's carried the ball an awful lot over the last couple of years, not only during the regular season, but they've had extended playoff runs, and that eventually catches up to running backs. So I'm a little bit apprehensive about it. I would rather go with the sure thing, somebody I know I can count on week in and week out. And while Marshawn Lynch has been very good for a long time, realize it's been a long time.
Babs? Now, I think fantasy owners have to realize that he's not going to score 17 touchdowns.
No?
He's going to get back down to the maybe like 12 touchdown range, 14 touchdown range. But eye test, I haven't seen any drop-off at all. I mean, that film we saw against the Cardinals, unbelievable, beast mode. I mean, he didn't look like a guy who has had more carries than any running back in the league in the last 4 years. So, yes, I'm comfortable drafting him top 5 overall.
And plus, he's such a fun player. Come on.
Exactly.
Very quickly, Jimmy Graham, the new addition there, they traded away Max Unger. What do you see his fantasy ceiling being, Marcus?
I think he may not be completely the Jimmy Graham we saw a couple years ago in New Orleans, but I think he's still going to be very good. Everybody freaks out about the Seahawks not throwing the football, but I think the reason they never threw the football is because they didn't have anybody to throw it to. Now they've got a guy like Jimmy Graham in there. In the last few years, he's caught 46 touchdowns in that same span. The Seahawks tight ends have 19.
Uh-oh.
I like that. I think he'll be just fine.
All right, Fabs?
I think he's going to be very good.
Not a first-round pick.
No, 4th or 5th rounder.
There you go.
If he can duplicate what he did last year, he'll be just fine in Seattle because the yardage is not going to go over 1,000. Not there.
All right, sign up for free right now, NFL.com/fantasy.